Hey friends, comment ça va?
Hey, what's up, people? Welcome to Getting Tuesday Done. GTD Tuesdays.
Episode number 59. Oh
59. Let's
man,
go.
in like 3-4
Already.
months. Crazy, man.
Crazy.
How's your day, bro? How's everything?
Super hectic. Running around. At least I'm there. Super happy to be here. I think, a day like this reminds me that you're never too organized. There's not one person on this earth that could just claim that they are just too organized, man. Like it's a problem of everybody that everybody has. I don't know for you, but like
Probably a little bit less for me because I don't have kids yet, and it must be different for you with two kids running around. I could only imagine running your business, having kids. It must be rough, man. I'm not gonna say that I know exactly how you feel there, but I'm sure it's. I'm sure you have your hands full, bro. Honestly, like today we started a bit late, and understandably so. So we're gonna go a bit. We're gonna go a bit later. Alex says that him too. He doesn't have kids. Alex, hey Alex, do you mind? I'm gonna send you a link over here.
can't
If you
see
don't
your
mind,
comment, Alex.
yeah, if you don't mind coming into our YouTube live, it would be actually pretty supportive because the algorithm will feed our segment to other people. So
I
I'm
would
not sure
also
what you hear.
be able to see your comment. I only see them if you guys are on YouTube. I don't see them on Jordan's Instagram. He's on your Instagram, Jordan.
Yeah, I'm gonna send
Really?
it to you. Thanks, Alex. Man, it's awfully nice
I
of you
appreciate
to support us, support our channel. Thanks, bro.
it.
Here, I'm gonna pin it. I don't know
Last
if you
week.
can copy paste it, Alex, but I put it there. Yeah.
So I'm going back my notes from last week, George. Last week we were talking about clarifying.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Indeed.
whole segment was about clarifying what would be what's the next action, finding out what's actionable, what's not. We had the nice little board that we actually took from the book. We did not create this workflow. It's Mr. David Allen's creation from the Getting Things Done book that we're reading every Tuesday, me and George. So basically, we went through everything that's in the middle here last week. And this week we're talking about organizing. So we're basically talking about everything that's on the external, everything that's gonna be actioned or not actioned will be going into these quadrants. And that's where we're going to be talking about these eight categories of reminders, the outer ring of the GTD method from David Allen. So being organized, bro. Being organized simply means that where something is matches what it means to you. So what does that mean? It means that when you have a pile of stuff, there might be some actionable things in there. There might be some trash. There might be a bunch of things. But if the things that mean something to you are gathered throughout all this, pile of stuff, you're not going to be able to action on them. Things might fall on like between the cracks, and you might lose opportunity. You're losing money. You're basically throwing money out of like the windows. It happens to all of us, especially business owners, especially guys in construction service businesses. We all have those piles of paper in the truck, in the garage, everywhere. Um, this is a system to have these piles because it doesn't apply to you if you only have 10 to 15 things to carry around throughout your week. If you have 15 or 20 things, you're not interested in what we're talking about here. If you have 50 to 150 things, new things coming, calls, you have a business. If you have a business, you know what I'm talking about. It's incoming every day, new stuff coming in, new employee, new problems, new accident, new insurance, new insurance. I need to call the insurance. The new employee, this guy, he's waiting for his paycheck. There's so many things because you're taking care of all these people, right? They're all waiting for something. You have to if you're building all these systems, you start to delegate. You start, so all these things can't just be in one pile.
Hmm.
You need systems to get them organized. Um, so we're gonna get through that. Just real quick. Last week we saw stuff incoming. Il y avait toutes les choses qui rentrent dans le système. You put them in the in basket. You figure out
What is an in basket? Just explain what is an in basket for people who weren't here last week.
trays. So the in trays are basically every when you empty your pockets at the end of the day, you have these receipts, you have these paperworks, you gathered your work orders, you gathered a bunch of things. They need to go into the proper in trays. If it's tray for work, you have an in tray like written work, you put everything there. You don't classify it now. You just put it there. Those are your in trays. End of the week, you start organizing, you start filing these entries. You take your entry
Hey, Kuj.
and you start asking yourself,
Welcome.
what is this? Is it actionable? If it's yes, we're doing something with this. If it's no, we're going to do something with this. So if it's yes, and that's that's basically where we were at last week. So we only went through just like defining what's what last week. What are we going to do with all that stuff? All these entries and all this paperwork that we gathered. Is it actionable? So I got all these papers. Let's say no. We're gonna go with no first. No. If it's not actionable, it goes. If it's not actionable right now, there's three options basically. It might be trash. It might go into a particular file. We're gonna get through that later on. I'm just going through it real quick for you. Someday maybes. Like the stuff that you want to gather, and you want to put a date on it. You want this back to loop back in your system later on, but you don't need this on your desk right now. You just need it in some file for later. And you got the reference material. So the reference material is information that you need to gather, you need to keep. We'll get that later. We'll get that. We'll get on this section later on. The first thing I want to talk about here is projects, because that's where people are getting lost.
Can you bring your mic just a bit closer?
That's where people are getting lost most of the time, I would say. You gather stuff in your in basket. I'll give you examples. Throughout the day, I will be doing my schedule as usual. I will be working on projects. Everything that was in my agenda, I would be working on it. I get a call from my website the website agency. The agency that takes care of my website tells me, "Hey, it's time for you to change your keywords for your website. I've seen that some of the data that we've gathered, they're not performing well. I need you to give me new keywords for your business because the ones you gave us a year before, they're not performing well anymore."
When you say keywords, you mean like SEO?
SEO.
Like SEO, so people can find you on Google.
Exactly. You're in the middle of your big project, just like you're in the middle, and you see the skull. You pick it up. It's not in your schedule. It's just this guy.
It's wise practice to change your tags every year.
It's not. I'm not talking about practices about SEO right now. I'm just talking about the occurrence that your SEO guy calls you in the middle of a meeting. You might actually be in a meeting that's talking about, hey, strategy for this Christmas time sales. What are we gonna do? And your SEO guy calls you. Hey, like you might tell me, don't pick up the phone. I would have picked up in a heartbeat. Hey, this guy calls me. I need the SEO guy on the meeting too. Let's answer. This guy answers. Yeah, da, da, da. And you thought, hey, I'm in this meeting. We're trying to do this Christmas sales promotion. Da, da, da. This guy comes up with new information, tells you, hey, your keywords, they're not performing well. You're trying to do this campaign. You need to change your keywords.
Hmm.
You're the CEO of your company. You're not taking care of keywords, but you need the team to work on it right now. You need this thing to be worked on right now, or you might be the person. Either case, you need this new item in your system to be either tickling some, but if it's like if you want this thing to be fixed right now, it's probably something that's actionable right now, right? So we'll talk about this. Um, the difference between items and projects, and where you should put all these files, all these things. So the question you need to ask yourself is what's the next action based on your SEO guy telling you, hey, your keywords need to be switched. You need to ask yourself, what's the next action based on this? Will it, the second act, right away you ask yourself, will it take me less than 2 minutes? Obviously not. Thinking about your keywords is basically, it's a new project. You need to like analyze, target more, talk with your team, go on ChatGPT, do a bunch of like prompts. So this is probably something that would like either go into delegate to a team, or you probably won't have time to, because will it take less than 2 minutes? No. So it's either defer, like we said last time, and we'll get to it. You defer it, or you delegate it. But in case you're trying to do it yourself, you want to take care of that project, which is my case. This goes into, yes, it's a project. What's the next action? It's a project. It won't take me less than 2 minutes. It's a new project that I'm trying to enter in my system. This goes into the project file. You just put it there. You write in, if you have if you have a list, you need to keep yourself a list of projects, or a list of if you don't have that many projects, you keep yourself just a list of next action things, and your projects need to be in there. The thing is, it has to be off your mind. You can't just be like, okay, Nicolas, yes, I'm going to be sending you the keywords later on today, and you write that down on a piece of paper. That means nothing to you. That piece of paper needs to be a piece of paper that holds other actionable lists of items that enters in the same category. So when you have that time later on that day, you pick up that thing because you know what's in there. You already know it's the actions that, if it's projects, you take the project lists. I just realized I spoke straight 13 minutes. I
Okay.
need you to tell me a little bit about your own experience on this, George, parce que je viens de réaliser que je
Well,
fais un
actually,
monologue.
I had a question. Like when you mentioned that you had a task that just popped up, the SEO, your what is it, the web guys that called you and said that, hey, for your campaign, we need to change some SEO. Doesn't that fall under the 2 minute category? Doesn't it fall under the 2 minute category? Like, we're gonna take that, and we're gonna, because it takes 2 minutes to
So you mean,
delegate it right away.
well, yeah, like I said, it depends. It depends if you have a team that could take care of it. If your team, you have a whole SEO team at your, if you have a whole SEO team at your company that takes care of it for you, you obviously tell this guy, hey, I'm not the right person. Call back and enter extension 107. You're gonna talk to Mick, who's taking care of my these projects, and he's gonna take the information. That's the thing you need to do. And
Fuck, I
obviously
think
that way.
I probably wouldn't do that. Knowing me, if I was in that position, I would just I would just write it down, and because it would
And
be too
wait.
important. Because it would be too important in my head. I would be like, okay, maybe the guy will forget to call my colleague about that. So I'll be like, no, I'll just take it down right away and I'll pass it through. But anyways,
You,
I don't always operate with complete logic.
you,
So
you, you need a system to that will be able to accept almost everything and take it off your head as fast as possible.
Hmm.
So if it falls back into the category like you're asking me, yeah, well, you could delegate it. It falls into the will it take less than 2 minutes. Me, I'm not that kind of, like, I don't want to delegate it so fast. Me, I like to do things myself. So I like to take on projects. If it goes into delegation later on, at least I have it on the good list. It's on my projects list. Delegation means someone will take care of it. If someone will take care of it, this person needs to know now. Most of the time, I've had these lists of talk Kev about this, talk to Jordan
Mm.
about this, and I didn't have time. So it was like 5, 6 o'clock. I finally had time. Was going through my list. I was like, I forgot about this. I forgot about it. So now the trick is I have a phone system. So during the day, I receive calls. I tell people, hey, don't talk, stop talking. You're telling me some valuable information that will get lost. And people laugh. They're like, it will get lost. This is serious. If you really want this information to be taken into consideration, especially with the employees, I respect my employees. I want them to be paid. I want the information to, sometimes they text me stuff. I don't gather the information, go see the person because I don't trust myself. I trust my systems more than I trust myself, which at the end makes I finally
Yeah, but you're
trust
still
myself.
technically like passing the information. So you're saying you don't trust yourself, but you trust other
My
people with that
system.
information. Well, your
Well,
system is other
yes, I
people.
trust other people. My system is other people because now I could delegate. So your question was, yeah, but your SEO, Felix, you're not taking care of this. You were actually right. I'm not completely taking care of this, but right now I wanted to take my SEO as a project, as a personal project. So this would fall into the projects. I have a project list. I keep a project list, not written. I used to have a book for projects. Now I use sprints. On pourra en parler plus tard. I use the Scrum method. So all my projects are on a software. All of my projects, everything related to these projects are in there. But this is my new, because I have 150 to 200 ideas and new tasks related to each of these projects. Now they need to be in each of these categories, but it doesn't have to be this complicated. And I don't want to talk about complicated systems. To make it complicated, it has to be simple and has as simpler as possible for you to so it sticks. If it's complicated, it won't stick. Your system at the beginning should be a bunch of lists, stuff that you write down next to you. And as soon as you get home, if you have a software and you like to put things in your stuff, like, think about a good software where you will feel comfortable. But to get organized right now, start with paper. Just start with like a good calendar, and we'll get to it, right?
Bro, I thought of you the other day, Fel. Like because I just got a new Mac and now like I have my iPhone and I have my Mac and everything is synchronized together. And I have an extra
That's
screen.
amazing.
Dude, I was outside the house. I had my phone on me. I took in a reminder on my phone and I put it on the calendar. Like I told Siri, remind me on this day to do this, whatever it was. And I got home and I noticed on my second screen my calendar was open and the reminder that I took in was boom right on my calendar on the exact day. How crazy is that? Like I thought of you because I know you don't like that kind of way to capture
No,
your
I like it. That's what you think, but I use them, and that's why I just wanted you to wait before we talk about it, the other podcast. But I actually love it. It's the best thing. I connect
But
most
wait,
of my calendars all
you don't
together.
have a Mac though, right? I
No,
don't know if like I don't know if the integration works in a similar
I use
way when you have
Google.
your
I use Google.
okay. Okay,
I
so
use
it must
Google.
be the same way then. You have the
It's
Google
the same
Calendar
thing.
on your screen and whatever notes, whatever like
Connected to my Zoho booking, connected to my Zoho CRM, connected. I have a massive calendar, and I could switch from users
But the
to
Zoho,
users.
that's just for your business, or is that like I'm talking
So
about
could you
like an
imagine that?
everyday, like an
Could you imagine
everyday.
the immensity of the calendar and Uninet, and like
Mm.
there's
I
a
feel like
couple of
you would need
calendars.
several. I feel like you would need several calendars. You need one calendar for your for Uninet, one calendar for like personal stuff.
So that's
Or do
so
you do
that's
it
why.
together? I'm curious. How do you do that? How many calendars do you have?
So we have the schedule for the employees, right? So and all that goes into another app. And at one point, that's where you hire. That's where you're like, hey, I can't just keep track of all these calendars for myself, for
Mm.
my own self. Your brain is not
Or should you have like
capable of that.
one master calendar? One
We tried
master
that.
calendar,
It's
because if you have like five calendars, how are you supposed to manage that? You're gonna have to look at five different calendars. How
so
can you manage with one like one master calendar that has business and personal reminders and actionable items to do?
so that's where we're at right now. That's when you defer. Like if it takes less than 2 minutes, you do it now. If it's a project or it's
Okay, so
project related things,
you're not putting in your so let's say you delegated something. It's off your chest, it's off your books,
it
or are
is.
you still marking it down like
Well,
that
you
this
still
so and
need.
so person is taking care of so and so task?
We can't see it. We can't see it because of my ring light here. Waiting for someone else to do it means that your employees, you have systems to track their progress, right? But that's another system. Like you can't just have everything on
You
like
can't have
on one
everything, huh?
thing.
Like at some point it's like, okay, I
You delegate
delegated
it.
it,
It's obviously off your
it's out
chest,
of your
but
chest. So
I
you're
have a
not
system for that, and I keep track of my employees on a sprint system. We could get into the details of like complete complicated systems, but when you delegate, let's say you have one employee you need to track on, it's easy to track what they've been doing and
mm,
how many hours have they punched. Like this is the system. Hey, this client called, please call back. This is delegation. This client had a problem at our location number 7. Could you call and understand what happened? Write down a report, send it back to me. Took less than 2 minutes. You could definitely like you. That's an art. Obviously, we can just like we could have like 2 podcasts just on delegation. Obviously, but for people who know how to delegate, like they understand that this is off their chest and off their mind, not on a list. You don't put this on a list. If it's delegation, you delegate it right away. You
but
send
you still
stuff
would
to delegate.
have to keep track and in a way make sure that that person fulfilled their obligation. So if one of your
Yes,
employees has to do something, you still kind of need to keep track of
and
it
you need to
somehow.
keep track of it. There's actually systems in Gmail that tickle back if there's no answers to your to that particular correspondence. I know it works. I actually use it. Um, but otherwise you're gonna need to put like timer or put on calendar. That's where the because that's where you use the calendar to good use. And we're gonna talk about calendar because people are using the calendar for everything. They're putting like to dos on their calendar, and they don't understand how bad that is to put like to dos like inside of your calendar. And these things are not necessarily to be done on that particular day.
Hmm.
By doing that, you force yourself.
To
so
do
so
it.
you either force yourself to do it, but sometimes you get like unpredictable stuff, and
So
these
you
things are
snooze
not get
it.
done. So you
So
need to
you
rewrite them. Oh, I still need to, like, it all
the
happened to all of
problem
us.
with
You
that,
wrote things in your agenda, and the
it
next
happened many
day,
times. Yeah.
bro, you need to rewrite them.
The problem with that is after I don't trust myself, like my brain is no longer satisfied because it knows that it's been pushed off so many times that it's not convinced in your ability to get it done. So like
Let
at some point you just gotta do it, and you gotta just make a decision and just do it and stick to it, because you need that evidence. Like, that's how our brain works. Our brains need evidence that it's gonna get done. It's gonna get action done. I don't know if it's the same thing for you, but that's kind of how my brain works.
So it's all
The
about
same
putting
thing with
everything at
snoozing
the
your
right
alarm
place,
clock.
right?
You know, like it's the same thing with snoozing your alarm clock. At a certain point, you snooze so many times, and it's like shit. I don't trust myself to wake up anymore. Like, you
It's
know,
so true. It's and you just like fall back and you fall asleep. It's bro, it's human. It's all human nature, but it's all about understanding your nature and understanding
yeah,
that you could counter it with countermeasures.
yeah,
And
well
these are
said.
actually countermeasures because it's actually understanding how your brain works and like having a system to cascade all the items that capture your brain and puts a drag to it.
Hmm.
um and it's actually funny because after you do that you feel like you have so much space for more, like more content, more work. Like doing this podcast takes time. It takes like some of my energy. I need also energy after this podcast to go take care of the kids, take care of like my day continues. Like this I don't have, me and Jordan, we don't have a like special life or whatever, so we're able to do this podcast. The reason why we're actually able to do this podcast and have everything else aside that is still going on.
Mm.
And the point of like being here and every day and showing you this whole content is to show you that it's actually possible to take massive actions, do more, take on more inside of your life, which would also probably mean more revenue, more growth, more clients, more leads, more whatever you want, and not feel like crazy tired and incapable the next morning because it took on so much of your energy the day before. You can't take on that much the day after. The drag comes from your systems who are not well organized, and trash is mixed. Trash is mixed with projects that, and also mixed with delegation post-its that are also mixed with reference material, and all this stuff scattered is creating a drag in your system, creating a drag in like what you feel like you're capable of doing. That's the whole point of this. The whole point of this is sorting out these things, putting them in separate files, and when you need to access them, they're there. They're at like places where you could really trust, and it's not in your face all the time. It's not scattered in your face all the time, creating drag. Um, so that's it. That's it. That's the whole point of GTD. Um, there was one thing I wanted to say about also the projects. You don't do projects. You feel me? Like you don't do projects. You don't sit down and let me do this project. Like projects have multiple tasks that will file in. Like your projects should not take if your project take more than a year to finish, you have a problem. You have a system like of course it depends if it's massive construction. Like I understand, but like you should wrap up like smaller fractions of even like bigger massive projects. Fractions of these projects are other projects that needs to be wrapped up inside of a year. And if especially when you're starting up your business, if you have a marketing project for your business, like fraction it inside of months. And what are you gonna do for like this week 1, week 2, week 3? What is it gonna be like constructed of? People don't do that. These projects are just like, they're just ideas until they're actually written down and actioned upon. You don't do projects. You do tasks. You do meetings. You do production work. You don't do projects. Projects are ideas, and they only stay on paper until you action upon them. This will, if you put it on projects and you have project plans set up, it will pump back actions. What's the next action? What should I do? And it will go downward. So the point is, you need to take all the stuff that's in this project here and put it back into system. So you either delegate it, defer it, put it in your calendar. When am I gonna do this task about project number 1, project number 2, project number 3, based on the project plans that we created? What's the next action about this project? It goes from here back into there. Will it take less than 2 minutes? Obviously, no. So once you defer it and you put it in your calendar, you actually do the first action to your project. I have this project about marketing. I want to do marketing in my business. What's the next action? Until you have the next action set up in your calendar, it's nothing. It's wind. It's ideas that you're just talking about. But then you think and you're like, well, I want to do marketing. Let's talk marketing with agencies. Oh, okay. So now you need to shop for agencies. That's your next action. When
Hey
are they
guys,
going to do
welcome.
it?
I see a
Welcome,
couple
guys.
people joined. Welcome, guys.
What's
If you
the
guys don't
next?
mind, smashing, if you guys like our content, if you don't mind smashing the like and the subscribe button, it really helps a lot. Thank you guys, appreciate it.
So what's the next action? Will it take less than 2 minutes? Obviously, no. Do you delegate it? Do you do it now? Hey, I want to do this now. I want to do marketing. I want to do it now. I'm that kind of guy sometimes, and I need to stop myself. I needed the system because I was the kind of guy that do it now all the time. Do it now. Do it now. Do it
It's
now.
the best. I think it's the best method.
It's the
Just do
best
it
until you
now.
have so
Until
much.
you have so much, yeah, and then after you're like, okay, yeah, there's no
Hey,
chance that I could do all this now.
but you
That's why I like the 2 minute. I like the 2 minute rule. I like. I find that helps me out a lot. That 2 minute rule is always in the back of my mind when I'm trying to decide if I should do something now or not. Because like, but then if you have, let's say you have a bunch of 2 minute things to do, a bunch of 2 minutes or less things to do, that's where it gets tricky. Now that's where you go into another dimension of like, it's easy to say like, okay, it takes less than 2 minutes. I could do it now, but it's like, man, I have 100 things that takes 2 minutes to do. Should I do all those 100 2 minute things now? Or man, my brain like goes in like it goes into like theory mode, and it's like, what about this? What about that?
it's the specific. It's because sometimes you need to put yourself like in commitment mode, like because you have so many commitments, you can't commit to everything. You can't commit to local church plus curling plus your friend's new project and your other friend's new project plus you have your own projects. You told your wife you were going to go to vacation. Like, you can't commit to everything with the same, like, you have 24 hours like everyone else. You need to
Hmm.
sleep, otherwise you're going to blow up. um you need to, like, one thing that was really a game changer for me was putting specific dates to stuff.
Specific actions.
Yes, to specific
Yes.
actions. So
Yes.
that helps because you transfer it from like your list of actions or your
Yeah.
sprint system or your project,
But
and you literally put it on, you put a date to it, you
and
put it on the
not only
calendar.
the date, and also like specifically, how are you gonna carry out that action? Specifics,
Yes.
step by step. Like when I was reading you my notes, I linked it. Like, for example, if the action is to go pick up milk, I'm just giving a random example. Let me give a better example. Um, let's say it would be to yeah, I have an appointment tomorrow for my back. I have an osteopath appointment for my back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Okay, I'm putting that on my to-dos, right? Or I'm putting that in my system. But I'm also writing down how exactly I'm going to do it. I'm writing down, like, because I need to be at the appointment tomorrow at 8 a.m. I'm writing down next to it, be in bed by be in bed by 10 p.m. Like, I'm gonna go deep down the rabbit hole with linking the exact action. So
That's
appointment
good.
tomorrow at 8 a.m. Be in bed by 10 p.m. tonight, and wake up by 6 a.m. Like, like, exactly to the T. Wake
That's
up, have a gym session, You
That's
know, like
amazing. That's
like
crazy.
it's
But that's very good. If you're able to do
because
that.
you're putting yourself because when you have like we are far more likely to complete the action, far more likely to complete the action
Mhm,
if we link step by step
mhm.
how we're going to do the action, how we're going to complete it.
Yeah, you
I read that
associate
in a book. I can't remember.
information to next action. So it's good to know, like, yes, this person called me, I need to do this. What's the next action? You already completed 50% of the work by already thinking, I need to do this
Right.
at this time. Not just like this information came in, uh, and put like write that down, like this person called me, think about it later on. This is too hard.
No,
It's
that's
too
too much.
hard to think later on because your brain is going to loop back to it. You're going to keep thinking about it. You're actually, while doing your other work, your ADHD brain will keep thinking about it. You need to slow down and really like, okay, this person called me, what's the next action linked to that? I need to call my boss and actually ask them, like, what are we gonna do with that client, because this client is actually asking for something I don't know about. Okay, call your boss as the next action. Put it somewhere. If it's time, what goes in your calendar? Three things: time specific actions, time specific. 1 o'clock. I need to call Diana for this information. 2 o'clock. I told Jim I was calling back to close the deal. This is time specific action. It has to be really time specific. It
Yeah.
goes in your calendar with a time associated to a Friday, 1 o'clock. Okay. Day specific action doesn't have to be. You don't necessarily all the time. Call
But
Diana could
like
be Friday. You know.
but wouldn't you like be as specific as you possibly can be with each task? Like
Yes,
I wouldn't put a rule to
but
it, but
it
like
doesn't.
be
It doesn't need to
as
have a rule. That's the point. So
doesn't have to
number
have a rule.
one
Yeah, it doesn't
has
have
a
to have a
rule.
rule.
Number two doesn't need to have a rule. And number three is something that you also said. You said like information. So time specific or day specific information that you need to know about. Let's say your new hire. This is something we all forget. Like HR comes to her, hey, this guy will be so you're gonna be doing this whole formation, and this new guy will show up. You will have all the EPI, everything. We prepared this package for him. Don't forget to give him the package. They always have something for you not to forget, and you always forget. Why? Because these are time or day specific information that goes in your calendar, and you don't know what to do with this information. You're always like, yeah, okay, and you
But
you
you notice
trust yourself, but
there's
you forget.
some people are more nonchalant towards like meeting deadlines. Some people are more nonchalant than others. Like personally, when I set myself to do something, I need to do it. Otherwise, like
Mm.
my brain's gonna be clawing, like you didn't do that, you didn't do that. So I find myself like always in a constant state of making sure that everything's in order, everything's getting done, everything that I need to do or that I set out to do is getting done. And I'm always constantly like not stressed, but I'm constantly like on it, you know? But at the end of the day, like generally speaking, my stuff is pretty much going to get in order. My stuff is going to whatever needs to get done is going to get done. Then nothing ever falls through the cracks or nothing ever seems to fall through the cracks. But I spend my time worrying about it on a daily basis. I spend my time like kind of worrying about to make sure that things are, but it's getting done. Generally speaking, of course, there's always there's always exceptions. So what do
I
you think
feel
about
like
that? Like, do you think that maybe I shouldn't like the outcome is there? The outcome, my system is there clearly because things are getting done. Things are always in the right place.
eh,
I had to get somebody to go to give me an estimation for the ceiling that there was a water damage. I'm worrying about it, but it's done. I got somebody across the Atlantic Ocean to make sure that they're there to do an estimation for my insurance company. Why am I spending time like worrying about it? But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, it's
I
gonna
would
get
say,
done.
so I would
How's my mic
something
quality, by the way, Fel?
very
Do you hear
good,
me? You hear me?
very
Okay,
good.
okay, perfect.
There's something that's missing in here. I would say that you delegate it to someone.
Ale, my sister's too funny.
You
Yeah.
delegate it to someone, but your
Ale, go on the
waiting
YouTube channel,
list.
please. Ale, can you open up the YouTube channel? I pinned the comment over there.
Yeah, I can't see your comment
Go on
actually.
to the YouTube. Just like, subscribe, helps the algorithm. Just fucking, you gotta just fucking do it. Yeah, can I share a funny story? My sister, she does TikTok lives, and we're on our way to the restaurant for my grandmother's birthday, and she put herself in a live video because my sister has a lot of followers on TikTok. On TikTok, and she went on the live, and she's like, "Yeah, my brother has a podcast, strategy about na na na." And I'm just driving. She's like, "Yeah, my followers want to know one tip or one piece of advice." Like, it caught me a bit off guard, you know. So I'm just driving. I'm like, shit. I'm like, yeah, you gotta fucking just
What? Just do it?
gotta just. I don't remember what I said, bro. I was just caught off guard.
Just do it. Just do
I
it.
didn't say just do it, but I said like, I don't know what I said, but I was just swearing a lot because you know when you swear a lot, it's because like
You
trying
know
to
what?
fill in words. It's like you're using it as a filler
Yeah,
word. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
people
yeah,
they're not stupid. They know what you're up to there.
yeah.
I'm dead.
Oh, that's funny.
Shit. Hey,
But
TikTok live, man. We need to get some followers on TikTok. I want to start going live on TikTok.
yeah, 100% anything, bro. But yo, to answer your question, because it was interesting. I wanna answer your question. It was super interesting. And it's probably a question that most people have. You said, why is it still on my brain? Why am I still worrying about it? The
Mhm.
reason why you're worrying about it, you already delegated to the person that was in charge of making sure that your problem was going to be fixed. But now you're still, we can't see here. You're still thinking about, is it done? And is it done properly? I fucked up all
Mhm.
my
No, but wait,
stuff.
let me rephrase. Like, it's getting done. So my response is the stress and the worry that's going into making sure that what I set out on my calendar to do gets done. So I'm spending time worrying
But
about it.
why though? Why
But
are
but
why?
it's the end result is good. The end result is my stuff is getting done. So maybe what's not normal about my system is that I shouldn't spend my time worrying. I should be
Well, you're worrying
mind
for
like
something. You're worrying because do you have like a tickler
I think
file
I think
for
Fell,
people like
if I could be
to
if I could
remind you
be
to call back the plumber? Like, hey, is it done? Do you have a
if I could be
reminder for that?
totally honest, I think I'm worried because some I'm just trying to be totally honest. Like I want to give the example of the snoozing. Remember when I was saying like when you snooze, like you don't trust yourself. So maybe I'm worried because I don't trust myself, which is weird because the end goal is favorable. Like the outcome is I'm getting myself. So why am I worrying? Why am I worrying so much?
Okay, but isn't that the like the perfect? That would be
Maybe it's
like the
okay to worry a bit. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's
no.
okay to worry a bit
Why would you worry? Why would
because I
worrying
have a
be ever
lot of
good?
stuff. Because I have a lot of stuff.
Okay,
I
but
have a
if
lot
you
of
have
stuff, a lot of
2,000
projects, a lot
more,
of stuff.
if you have 2,000 more doors,
It would be easier. We spoke about this last time. When you have a bigger company, it's easier to manage because you have the resources to hire people, to hire, you know. So if
well,
I had a
when you say
thousand doors or two
hiring,
thousand doors, I'll have the company to
we've
take care
had
of it.
35 employees. I could tell you, 35 employees is way more headaches than 15.
3,500 employees is
No,
more headaches than 15.
35 employees. We've had 35 employees at peak at Uninet.
It's
Now
just
we're
because
probably
like
more
if
at
you have a
15.
lot of but if you have a lot of employees, I don't have a lot of employees, so I can't speak out of. But I would feel that if you have a lot of employees, you kind of have the resources to have an external organization to take care of those employees or to take care of those things, right? Because if you have a big company like Amazon, for example, you think the CEO of Amazon is buzzing, everybody's taking care of everything, right?
Not necessarily. I wouldn't say that. You always have because at this peak, we've both read peaks and valleys, right? Like at this
Hey
peak, you
Georges,
see
comment ça
other
va?
peaks. You're looking at other peaks. And we just had like a nice heart from
Hey
from
Georges,
Jacques.
sorry Phil. Georges, tu viens-tu sur le podcast vendredi? On peut-tu t'avoir comme un special guest vendredi? Ça nous fera plaisir de t'avoir parler un peu du real estate au Portugal. Ça serait intéressant pour nos viewers. Puis il n'y a pas vraiment un agenda, là. C'est un agenda? Il n'y a pas comme un agenda vendredi, c'est freestyle. On parle d'affaires. That's it. Et Géo. Sorry, Phil. Go ahead.
Non, c'est rien. Non, non, non. Bro, if you have 20 to 30, 20 to 30 things on your list, now I was trying to keep track of your question here.
Yeah, okay. So if having a lot of employees or a lot of things going on versus little.
It doesn't mean you have less things to track on your action list. Your next action list would be filled with new things. There's people that I admire, that I look on LinkedIn. I see, I know their schedule is right now is like busting of opportunities and stuff, new stuff, like media calling. Hey, we've heard this story. Can we have you on this channel to talk about it? You don't want to say no to those opportunities, but you need to make them fit in your calendar. And you have a lot of commitments. You have your children. You still have those same commitments that other humans have, and you're trying to do more for your community. You're trying to like sell your products as you were selling your products at the beginning with the same energy. You don't want to miss out on anything. But at some point, you're gonna have to manage more and track more what has been done. So when you're giving your plumber here in Portugal stuff to do, you need a reminder to call him back.
But you
so
see,
it's
like,
off your mind.
You brought up the example. If I had 1,000 doors, I don't have 1,000 doors right now. So, but if I did have 1,000 doors, it would be the management.
Let me ask you a good question.
That's gonna follow up with the plumber.
How many doors, George? How many doors? So we stick with this. Okay. How many doors for you? Like, how many doors will make you hire one person? Like, be like, hey, this is too much for me. This is way too much. I can't deal with the plumbers calling me and this person called me in the weekends. Blah blah blah. I need someone to take these calls for me. And I don't know, 40,000 euros, 40, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, 40K. Je sais pas combien tu payes une personne comme ça. But
it's 25%. It's 25% of the revenue. It's a lot. So like right now I'm not in a position to, and I don't want to. Right now, I'd rather take the stress and stack and be able to buy more. If I give that away now and remove the stress now, it's going to take me longer to build. Like right now, I can keep more profits, but yeah, I have to deal with the stress. I have to deal with those reminders and stuff.
So how many doors?
Probably 10.
10 doors. I was thinking the same thing. 10 doors. So what would be the next action? At 10 doors.
The next action to get towards the 10 doors? Or what do you mean exactly?
No. You're at 10 doors. You're at 9. You bought your 10th.
Okay.
And because you just told me at 10, you hire someone. What's the next action if you hire someone, in your opinion? What would be the next action?
Sorry, could you repeat the question, please?
So at you get to 10 doors.
Yeah.
And you're trying to hire someone. What would be your next action based on your project of hiring someone? What would be the next?
What would be my next action
in your brain, like in your mind?
I would have to go I would have to shop around for a company or an organization.
Okay. You're talking about a company. You're not hiring someone. You're actually like getting an agency for that.
Well, yeah, most likely.
So you're gonna shop for an agency at 10 doors.
I don't think it's just one person though that I would have to.
Interesting. And have you ever thought about shopping for an agency before 10 doors for fun?
It's gonna cost me like 25%.
But maybe it could make you grow faster. Have you ever thought about that?
Not yet. No, not yet. I thought about it, but it's not worth it yet. It's not worth it for me yet. Like right now, I'm not even in the country, and I'm able to manage it. So my guests are checking in just fine. I have I have the because I have a lockbox outside. So and I have the cleaning ladies that are going inside cleaning. So as soon as I have a guest check in, sorry, if I have a guest book a reservation, I'm taking the checkout date and immediately that's my streamlined process. As soon as the reservation is made, I'm taking the checkout date and I'm texting my cleaning lady. There's a cleaning on this date. So the moment they check out, so she knows she's putting in her calendar because she likes to be advised ahead of time as much as possible. So she's gonna go clean it. She's gonna take the key. She's gonna put it in the lockbox, and then all I gotta do is text the guest, "Hey, okay, the key is over here." No, no, no. But they get an auto message as soon as they book, saying that you need to send me your ID. You need to go. This is send me your ID, and then I'll send you the code to get the key. So right now it's manageable. So why would I give a chunk? The trade off is not there yet. Like I'm okay
100%.
with handling the headache at this point. You know.
Totally understandable. Totally understandable. The thing I'm trying to tell you is just asking yourself what's the next action brought so many conversations. It brought up so many things. It challenged your brain. Like it's just
Yeah.
having that system makes you think, is it really what I want to do? No. So it's not entering the system. This system is good because it's good in any situation, and that's what stays there. What stays in your brain is this system. This stays in your brain, not the stuff, not the items, not calling the cleaning lady. And as much as you understand it and you grow with it, you start realizing that when you're thinking and reminding, you're not in the action. You're not doing. It's hard to do when you think about something else. It's hard to do complicated, creative production and actually sitting down and creating ads and creating hard stuff, hard work, deep focused work is impossible if you're thinking about 10 things or 3 things or 2 things at the same time. It's not possible.
It's not possible.
So
you're gonna fail if you
need that state of mind. Yes, do it. I could do it. I'm free to do it. So delegate as fast as possible. I started delegating as soon as I felt that I was getting overwhelmed in my system. So that's when you know. Soon as you're overwhelmed, the reason why you don't want to hire right now is because you don't feel overwhelmed. As soon as you're going to feel a little overwhelmed, you're going to be like, hey, I don't want this. But I feel like that the gold pot is at the end of overwhelming stuff. Because if it's not overwhelming, people are not going for it, bro.
Yeah, because exactly. I like that you said that. And I think that's totally true. And I think that most people today, like if you're just willing to work a little hard, like I think that you can run over people, sort of speak.
You need a system to take on more.
Nothing like generally speaking, anything that's feels good in the short term or that is good in the short term is generally not good for you.
Yep.
Most things, generally speaking, that are not pleasant in the short term are generally really good for you in the long term. Almost anything, if you think about it. Taking drugs is nice in the short term, but sucks in the long term. You're gonna pay for it with your life and with your health. Eating good food. Well, you can make a case for that. You can eat good and making it taste good.
You can't talk about food. Italian people, they won't ils vont pas choisir. Ça c'est clair. Quality of food.
No, but you can still eat delicious food. No. You can eat delicious and healthy food at the same time.
I love your face right now. C'est trop drôle. Tu peux pas négocier ça avec mon Giordano.
No.
You can't negotiate on food. No, you can't coffee, bro. You can't negotiate a good coffee. Look at this guy.
Like yesterday when the food was ready, bro, I just ejected from the party. I smoke with you.
Ciao.
Your face was like, but I still have more stuff to talk about.
C'est vrai.
Sorry, bro.
No. That was funny. Ça, c'est bon. I just feel, bro, this system is... I want you to think about 100 doors. That's why we're talking about 10x goals tomorrow. These subjects go together. Like you can't have 10x goals and not have a system to organize yourself, because you're always going to be telling me, oh, Felix, we can't be 10x because we're already capping at 2x and it's too much for us. We're too like overwhelmed with everything.
Yeah,
You
they're not
need to
getting the point.
fix that. You
They're not
need
getting.
to
Yeah.
accept the business. How are you going to tell your wife, no, 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 we have enough money because I can't organize my dirty truck paperwork filled vans? Like, no, fix that. Get the $1 million business next, like the extra $1 million business next year, because you're able to tackle more, have more of your guys on the road, more people. If like these groups, I'm on groups, professional groups on Facebook. If you could just, if you have had seen the amount, thousands and thousands of posts about people not able to keep their guys because it's too complicated. Listen, like, we're not going to build a new economy. You're going to be out there complaining about this politician, that politician, talking politics all day, but you can't keep an employee. How are you going to fix the economy?
Mhm.
Stop talking about the other guy. You can't fix one other just like you. Like, you can't fix another window cleaner just like you. It's impossible you fix the economy that way. We need to fix more people who are out there fixing stuff, fixing problems, showing the younger guys how to do the job properly, and build foolproof systems so these guys are out there, they know what to do. And yes, you're gonna pay a little overboard sometimes because they're on their cell phone. It's part of the game. But we're talking about doing the job, doing the work so you could go to sleep and you're not out there doing everything.
Mhm.
That's the whole point. You go to sleep. I'm telling you, Jordan, we have 15, 16, 17. I don't want to say like out of my hat anything. We have more than 15 employees. I don't know if every dollar that we spent is exactly like on the schedule of things. I don't know that for sure. Am I losing an hour of sleep because of it? No, because I know that everyone's at its place doing the proper work because they know exactly what to do. They know what to do. It's paid for. Clients are, and I go to bed and I tackle on more business. I know now because these systems are in place. I can tackle more business, call more clients, offer them more of my good service, and even think about new services. Think about new offers. I have time for that. I need to make up time for that. That's my job. I can't just be like tackling items, tackling. I didn't send my tax form properly. Where do I send that? If you don't have those systems in your business, so they're already properly like going to the proper place. Of course, it's you're gonna have 150, 200, 250 items on your desk every day to be done. That's what's overwhelming.
And I think if you don't have it in you to delegate, you're never gonna grow. Like,
No,
you talk a lot about delegating, and I think at the beginning it's tough to delegate because you feel like you feel the need that everything needs to be done yourself or it's not done properly. But I feel like if you don't delegate, like, you're not gonna grow more
I
than.
find it a funny thought to control everything.
Yeah,
I
to
think
micromanage every little detail.
to
You
me it's
gotta.
funny
Yeah, to
because
me too, it's funny. Honestly,
you
it's funny,
can't
but it's like I
control
understand at the
everything.
beginning when you're starting your business, you feel like you have to wear all those hats, and you do have to wear all those hats, right? You
Yes, you
do
do
have
at
to
the
wear all
beginning.
those hats at the beginning, but at some point you have to start giving the give giving the baton to the next person to say, okay, I trust you with this, and you have to trust people with with this, and you have to show, and they appreciate you for it, like, oh, and they feel that an obligation to make sure that they do it right for you.
Not only that, but I also feel like when you're out there doing stuff yourself for so many years, okay, you're starting. Of course, you're starting at the beginning, like you said, you have to wear so many hats. But when you're out there doing it for 2 years, 3 years, 4, 5, 6 years, I find it that you need to tackle on some like other projects, and these other projects should be managing your team. They should be showing other people what you're doing. Showing them should be your project. Just mastering your craft more and more and more is not going to solve the world. Like the first word problems, like you're not going to fix even your own problems if you're just out there trying to do everything and master them and be perfect at them. That's the problem. The real problem is when we engage in like trying to be perfect at what we are actually doing, while we should scale what we're doing to higher levels and show more people of it, like give them more of your products. They more people should know of the Strategy Vault podcast. Like, so I need to make up time so more people know of the Strategy Vault podcast, and all the little things related to the podcast. They need to be done either by automations or by someone else.
I want to implement people contributing to our show more. To have people share their stories. I'm sure we could learn a lot from other people too. You know,
100%.
I feel like we could learn a lot. Let's talk about that afterwards. How we can implement like some activities or something that
Bro,
we
before
can.
Christmas, we could definitely help someone scale and grow and maybe even finance their business, find money for their business. And when I mean finance, I mean by any mean possible. There's so many ways now to grow your revenue. And right now you might be thinking, okay, but finance, that means loans, and we're not talking loans here. Like there's so many ways to like grow your business before Christmas with all these opportunities, all the stuff that I see with this economy that these are going bankrupt. They just didn't find way to channel to the and target the clients and get more business. And you could be that person. You could be the person before Christmas. If you tell us your story, write down in your comment, I have this business, I have this project, I'm trying to scale it, trying to grow it, I'm looking for money, looking for 20. That's how I work inside of my own business. We need 50K before when? 10 days. Okay, let me find ways. And that's the new project for the next 10 days. We create a project for $50,000. We're looking for $50,000. Let's find ways, not loans, not financing, because yes, we do have these channels. They exist and we use them. But let's find more ways to gather revenue before we call the bank. Hey, I'm looking for money. Before I call mom, oh no, I missed 5K for the pays. How am I gonna pay my employees? Let's call mommy. Mommy, do you have 10K to lend me? This trains your brain to the wrong solutions. You need to tackle more stuff, more actions. What's the next action? I have this problem. Let's ask ChatGPT. That would be my next action. Let's ask ChatGPT to let's prompt ChatGPT to give us like some ideas. ChatGPT gives you ideas. Oh wow, okay, I have more ideas now, more projects. I need to talk to more people because ChatGPT gave me more ideas now. What's the next actions to all of these items that I need to like? I need to talk to this person. Calendar. All these actions, I promise. If you follow this system by Christmas, because there's so many days left. It's 3 on le 3 décembre, 3 of December.
Goes
There's
by
so
fast
many
though.
days. It goes by very fast if you do nothing. But by Christmas, you could create a foolproof system, a foolproof calendar thing in 10 days. 50,000. What do you need? $50,000, 100, a million. I promise. If you have a 25K goal for 10 days, it's not the same actions than $1,000,000. We're not going to be knocking at the same doors, but it's possible. It's just asking yourself, trigger the conversation. The same way we did, you and me, Jordan. 10 doors? When? For when? 100 doors? For when? Next year? 10 years?
Yeah, we can use that. We can use me as an example. We can work on that together.
That's
Down on Emma.
that's the metric. How many doors? How much time? So by next
The
year,
thing is, I already know what to do. I already know what I
Write it
know what I
down.
could be doing it now. I already
Write
know
it
what I could be
down.
doing now.
Project list. Write it down. You said it. I didn't say it. You said it.
If when it comes down to it, you know what you need to do. You know it's
But you
there,
need to write it down though.
and you need to take action.
Because if you write it down, you will keep track. It will be fun. It's also fun.
I
Let me
want to say
tell you.
so. Like, I saw this as an example. Put somebody in a room, closed, in solitude, locked in a room with just a computer with internet access, and they have 30 days to make $5,000. If they don't, they die. Most people are gonna.
We'll
I would
find
I would
ways,
I would
right?
argue I would argue everybody will find a way to do it.
That's
It's
that's
because
where
the
that's in that. You
urgency.
need to put yourself in that room every single day,
You
and
need the
and tell
urgency.
yourself, I need that 5K tonight, or else I'm not
Yep.
going to sleep. Hey, George, like you see me do that every single day. I'm not like in a heartbeat. I do what I need to do, like to fix. If I have to show up at work because employee can't or this, I show up. We show up. We show up for clients. We show up for why? Because all these actions they pile up. They pile up. They're money later on in life. They pile up. They gather they gather interest for you. You become your own bank of solutions.
Yeah. So look, I'm just gonna let you know I gotta take off soon. I don't know if you wanted to just give some final thoughts here and
Let me see. Let me go through my notes real quick. I think we've been through a bunch of things, bro. Like someday maybe secular fights, and you asked like all these questions you asked, bro. They made me think. There's a bunch of people like we're all like that, you know. Most questions you ask about the GTD, everything you might ask yourself about the system, it's relevant because we're all the same. How am I gonna keep track of everything? You don't have to keep track of everything. You need to keep track of what's in your mind and what's worrying you. So when you talked about your plumber,
yeah.
good material to write down and break down, you need to break it down. And for me, it's a good like when I worry about something, let me finish with this. When I worry about something, like when I feel disorganized or overwhelmed at some place, I start thinking in terms of system. I start thinking, hey, that if I'm worrying about this, it's because there's too many things gathering at one place. It's creating like a bad when you have a muscle that's tense or whatever, it's creating a
Yep.
tension. So I need a system to automate that. These things later on, they will gather, but they will fill like empty themselves in another bowl. They will go downward somewhere. I need to put these items that are worrying me inside of that system. Next time they're gonna go into calendar, next action, or I will my favorite, I will delegate them and ask that person later on with a reminder or reminders are I love when reminders are created like by themselves through the system. You press on a button and you got a reminder created for next week or next
Hmm.
month. You know I love these reminders. Yeah. I like
I don't think you do. You though.
I love this.
You do
Like
love them.
my
Okay.
my inbox is filled with them. You even told me, Fel, can you
No,
take some out? Like
I thought of you because I know, like, I don't know, I know how you feel about them. But you do like them. You
when
do
they're
like.
automated, I don't like when I have to enter them. I love when they're automated. So I click on a button. So let's say we talk I talk with a client on the phone. Yeah, this, that, this, okay. Next week, call me back. Boom. Click of a button. You click on call next week on your disposition codes. Boom. The reminders being created. I'm crazy like that. I don't like to re-enter things a lot of times throughout the day. There is actually softwares and ways for you to be really organized and not have to enter all these things in the system. If it takes too much time to enter, I have to like let's be real, like you're not gonna enter all kinds of reminders all the time, all day. You're gonna be out there entering reminders on your phone, and it's gonna
But why not though? Why not? If that's what's occupying your brain,
put it, do
put
it.
it.
Yes, Of course, you're right. If it's occupying your brain, take the time to put the reminder manually. 100%. You don't have systems for everything, right? So my mom calls me, "Hey, your grandmother's at the hospital. You need to go." Well, I won't need
Well,
a
in that
reminder
case,
for
you're just
that.
gonna, yeah,
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
not obviously not gonna need a reminder. That's stupid. But reminder to buy a book. You know, my wife would tell me, "Oh, I love that book, and I want to buy it for Christmas for her." I need a reminder to buy it when I get to the library next week. I know I'm getting there, so I'll put it in my calendar. You know, buy this book, information, day and time, boom. But it has to be entered. It has to be written
Has
down.
to be taken in, yeah, because
Yeah,
it's gonna be lingering in there.
off your
It's,
brain, off your mind.
yep.
So let's move on, bro, to next. What's tomorrow? What's tomorrow? I
Tomorrow
forgot.
we're doing
Winners Wednesday.
10x. Tomorrow
10x
we're at
10x Wednesday.
chapter
10, 11? Chapter 11, I think.
continuity camera, 20% battery.
Yeah, me too. My thing is
Yo, my
so hot.
background is so sick, man. Like I just closed the light. It actually looks like I'm in a studio right now, doesn't it? Doesn't it look
Actually,
like I'm actually in the strategy vault?
it does,
Like
it does, it does. It's pretty nice.
studio. Let me try sitting on the side like this. Avoue, c'est que, bro. Whenever you, man, I want to go bring this picture and this image in Canva, split it in half, and give you the other half. You understand what I'm saying? Like I split the background in half and give you the other half on your background. So it would look like you and I are sitting on each
Ah, ok,
chair.
ok, 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 ok. Ça serait
It
bon,
would be
ça.
insane. It would look like we're in the same room.
Dans le même studio.
Ça
Ouais.
serait malade.
Ça,
And I would
faudrait
be
faire
able
ça.
I
Ouais.
would be able to set that up.
I
I would
need
just look
a
what are the
video, bro.
dimensions of the square and I would bring it in Canva. Ça serait malade.
Yeah, my thing. I think my thing was lagging a little bit today.
Yeah, it was.
My
It
phone
was
is
lagging
super
a bit
hot.
today. Yeah,
Yeah.
some days more, some days less than others though.
I don't know
Like
why.
some days it's doing really well.
I need to investigate. I think the more time we take on StreamYard, I think my phone is starting to heat up.
Maybe it heats up. Yeah, it's possible.
But I'll figure that out. Tomorrow I'll probably take out the case, and because we've been on StreamYard more before the set, before the live,
That's
and
true.
my phone probably was heating up. But hey, we talk tomorrow, bro. I'll let you go. It's been an hour 12 already. I'll let you go. I need to go. I need to go eat also. Demain, Winners Wednesday. On est là pour un autre 10x read. Be there. 5:15.
Thanks for watching, guys. Ciao, fel. À demain.
À demain, big. Take care, bro.